All people ages 0 to 100 deserve nature and the outdoors. It's a right, like clean air or clean water, and kids should be first in line. I'm thrilled and honored to join environmental volunteers. Our small staff enables hundreds of volunteers to lead programs out on the trails and in classrooms, inspiring wonder, cultivating science skills, leading restoration efforts, and educating for action.
Today, the amount of time that kids spend outside is only minutes per day, while screen time is upwards of 7 hours per day. The Environmental Volunteers is here to change that.
The Environmental Volunteers have always been one of the outstanding programs nationally. The main message is our actions matter. Each person is empowered to make changes in the world.
With today's technology, it's really hard to keep a child engaged with a textbook. Hands-on is the best way to keep them involved and excited about learning. My name is Angie Tupel. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Henry Ford Elementary in Redwood City. Environmental Volunteers has been coming to our school now for about 15 years.
Here are all of these different items. Every one of these has been found in the ocean. I want you to make an order from the ones you think would decay the fastest to the ones that would take the longest to decay.
Having experienced, knowledgeable volunteers come and share their expertise with the children is invaluable.
What I can't believe is that right here it says glass bottles and jars are undetermined. They don't really know how long it will take to dissolve.
Half the class were dissecting squid, and one of the girls was really squeamish at first. The next thing I know, she's pulling out the egg sack and showing me, look, it's a girl.
It just popped out. Oh my God.
When I asked students what made them less nervous about touching the squid, they said, well, when we saw the volunteers were doing it, that we wanted to be like them and be scientists.
Our volunteers are everyday people, but they are extraordinary people. They are committed to nurturing the next generation of nature stewards.
In Belgium, I used to work like a high school teacher in science and especially biology.
I have worked in the semiconductor industry. I'm a real physical scientist.
I worked for almost 40 years at the U.S. Geological Survey.
My name's Jeff Englander. I've been an environmental volunteer for 4 years now.
But at the same time, I've been interested in teaching my whole life.
I grew up in Oregon. There's a ton of trees and nature. I spent a month backpacking in Thailand and seeing the overflowing bins of garbage and no recycling system. I didn't really realize how passionately I felt about it until I saw what it looked like. I did my own personal research to find out what I could do to get involved. The thing that popped out to me the most was environmental volunteers.
I want to help the kids be aware of what they see here, right here in the Baylands. Observing, noticing, and then wondering what it is. This is an exciting new stimulus in my life.
One of the students told me, I've never been here. He was living in East Palo Alto, but he was never been for a walk around the bay. And he was so pleased about the fact that he didn't know there were birds and he didn't know there were nice plants.
A nice thing about field trips is that it gives me the freedom to go in any direction that the kids are interested in.
In the next couple of weeks, we'll be going to the tide pools. Our former parents have rated it the best field trip of the year. The class is about 49% free and reduced lunch. For some, that's their first sight of the ocean.
They find about 80–90% of the things that we end up seeing in the tide pools. Makes them much more interested in whatever they find.
Today I discovered real live sea stars. I've never seen one in real life. And they're pretty cool creatures too.
It's the sounds and the smells. They're just so amazed by the enormity and the beauty of it all.
So you can have time to relax and look at the animals and study about the habitat. It's kind of cool out here.
One of the things that we know about environmental leaders is that there's been research that has been done looking at their childhood, looking at what influenced them to become environmental leaders. And so much of that is creating this sense of place and caring about a place.
So what we're doing is launching our Educate for Action project. And through that, we're implementing new teaching techniques involving the kids in conversations where they have to evaluate what if we took one action or another, and how would that help the environment.
This will decay fast. This will decay really fast.
Understanding how an ecosystem works is really important, but what makes the biggest difference is that commitment to action.
So what does a banana slug help us with out here in the forest?
They crush down and eat the leaves, and they crush them down to make soil.
So they're really good at decomposing.
It's important to instill a love of discovery because experiences are what fundamentally create people. If we create these people with these wonderful nature experiences and they discover all of this on their own, they're going to take it into their relationships, to their families, to everything around them. Kids are still excited about the world and their energy is contagious.
If we protect nature, these animals can be around for many, many years.
We only have one Earth. You can't replace Mother Nature.
What kids learn in these experiences, what they remember and what they hold in their heart, it'll stay with them for the rest of their lives. This is how we lay the building blocks for tomorrow's environmental leaders.
Octopus! There's an octopus over here!
When we deplete all of our resources, when we have nothing left to give, our kids are going to be the ones that build us up. So if we teach them the fundamentals, the most important things about taking care of our environment and being sustainable, then we might have a world to live in the future.
Children today are just so much more savvy to the impact of our lives on the earth. They know litter's bad, they know that chemicals are bad, and they know so much more at this young age that I think our future is going to look a lot better. The volunteers threw out the idea of, maybe you'll be the inventor of something that will produce less trash, and I think that's probably true.